reflux, but the reason why I titled it digestion is because acid reflux falls under the umbrella of digestion. And so we're not just going to talk about acid reflux, we're going to show you how acid reflux begins and how you even caught or was diagnosed with acid reflux. Next slide. So where it begins in the mouth. That is where digestion begins. We think it begins in the stomach, or no. It begins as soon as you put something in your mouth. Next slide. Large intestine, rectum, and anus, along with accessory organs like the liver, the gallbladder, the pancreas. All of that is involved in the digestive system. And the reason why we want to talk about the entire human digestive system is because when people are eating, they're so happy. I just got to have some more ribs. Do you have any more? I need seconds. Wait, is it any more? Is it just one or two left? Okay, so now you're on your third serving, right? Not knowing what it's going to do to your gallbladder, right? So the older you get, you start losing enzymes, and then you don't have any enzymes to break down that fat. And what organ does that affect? If you're not able to break down your fat or your protein, who's affected by it all? Liver and gallbladder. So you have an attack, you rush to the hospital, to the ER, and oh, we need to take your gallbladder. So that's why I wanted to talk about the entire digestive system today so that you can understand. Next slide. When something goes wrong in the digestive system, it can manifest as a variety of symptoms and disorders. Abdominal pain, bloating, gas, nausea, vomiting, constipation or diarrhea, belching, heartburn, acid reflux, candida fungus, and elevated blood sugar. Does anyone understand why it can affect your blood sugar when you have a digestive system problem? Well, what organ? Thank you. What organ is affected by blood sugar? Pancreas, thank you. So if your pancreas is not producing enough insulin, it starts here with where you start eating, because that begins the whole digestive process, okay? So that's why that's up there, elevated blood sugar. Has anyone had an issue where pain in your stomach has stopped you in your tracks? Raise your hand. Yes. To the point where you can't breathe. If you move to the right or to the left, you cannot breathe. I have seen grown men, 6'5", 300 pounds, fall to their knees because they have a gallstone stuck. Next slide. Why digestive enzymes are important, especially as we age. As we age, our body produces fewer digestive enzymes. Without these enzymes, undigested food passes into the colon, causing bloating, gas, proteins, fats, cellulose, and milk. Have you ever heard somebody say, when I eat cheese, I'm so gassy and bloated? That's because they don't have the enzymes to break down that milk protein. Yeah. And so if you feel gassy and bloated, you need enzymes. Otherwise, you should not do what? Eat it. Right. Enzymes facilitate better digestion and absorption. They convert food into usable energy. Next slide. All enzymes are not created equal. Some are formulated with specific blends to digest only fats and protein, meaning that if you are affected by a slice of pie, which is maybe high in sugar, or a slice of cake, that particular enzyme that you're taking, if it's for fats and protein, it's not going to help you. You have to take an enzyme that's going to digest carbs and sugars. There's also blends for dairy, and there's also blends for gluten. I can't eat 3 out of the 4. I don't eat meat, I don't do the dairy, and I can't do the gluten. So if I eat something, I would have to take enzymes for all of that. But I'm not eating the meat. I can't eat the meat. Yes?
When someone say they're lactose intolerant,
Yes.
how does that affect their digestion?
They should not be drinking milk, cow milk, and they need the enzyme. See right there, digesting lactose. They need the dairy enzyme. Yeah. Or just avoid it. But sometimes when you're eating, you don't know that it's hidden in there, especially if you eat out. Right. You just don't know. Blends for lactose and or gluten do not mean that those who are allergic or highly sensitive can eat them by taking the enzymes. It merely means that if you have non-allergic symptoms, these may help to better digest a food group. So if I know I'm allergic to dairy, especially cow dairy, I don't drink it or eat it, right? So that's why it's important to know if you're eating a food that does not agree with you, you shouldn't eat it. Doesn't matter how good it tastes. You're causing damage to your body. And eventually it is going to cause more damage and you'll end up in the ER. And is it worth it? No. Next slide. Next slide.
Dana,
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have acid foods high in acid on your slide? In terms of things that causes problems?
I think it may come up,
Okay.
but we can talk about it. So there's a alkaline chart. Meat, of course, is very acidic. When you're looking at a pH scale, and you have one, if you're looking at a pH scale, 7 is alkaline, right? Anything 7 and above is alkaline. To the left of your scale, everything under 7 will start to be acidic, so that's negative numbers. Do you know that lemon can be 9.0, so that's very, highly alkaline. Baking soda, highly alkaline. When you eat chicken, beef for instance, is 33, negative 33. That's how acidic it is. So I had a client, and hopefully they don't mind me using them as an example, but he was trying really hard to get his pH level to be 7 or a 7.5. He was doing everything right. And I'm looking and I'm like, why don't you try to avoid beef? Because he loved beef. I said, try to avoid it. Try to eat something else. And let's see if the pH level will go up. As soon as he avoided beef, the pH went up. It was the beef that kept him in that negative number. Beef is very acidic. Meat in general is very acidic. Sugar, very acidic. So what are some foods that are acidic? Meat and sugar, The other thing that's acidic is carbs, can be acidic. So in order to balance it, you have to eat more alkaline. Celery, cucumbers, lettuce, generally things that are raw are going to be highly alkaline. Or you can place a teaspoon of baking soda in water every night, and that will alkaline you. I usually don't advise everyone to do that because baking soda can elevate your blood pressure. And so we just really have to be mindful of how much acidic foods we're eating in one day. It has to be a balance. If you're a meat eater, that's fine. I don't push veganism. I don't promote that. Sometimes vegans and vegetarians are the sickest people we have coming to us. And so that's not something we promote. But if you're eating meat and you have acid reflux, it's important that you test your urine pH so that you can focus on striving for 7.5 on a monthly basis. And that's why those pH strips are important, because you can test every week. So Nature's Digestive Aid, apple cider vinegar. This can help alkaline, but there's a disclaimer. If you already have acid reflux, I do not suggest apple cider vinegar. I don't even suggest lemons or limes, which can alkaline you as well. But it can stimulate stomach acid. It improves nutrient absorption. It supports the healthy bacteria in the gut. It helps alleviate acid reflux. It contains antimicrobial properties to help sterilize the food. Helps detoxify digestive system, promoting elimination of toxins and waste through the colon. Helps balance the body's pH to improve overall health and enhance immunity, since bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline environment. Now, when I was taking care of Grandma, you all remember Grandma Brown, she would say, "This apple cider vinegar puts hair on my chest." And she couldn't stand it. But every time she would have a stomach ache, that was my go-to for her instead of baking soda, because the baking soda would elevate her blood pressure. So I had to go to the ER. But that's what helped. And also, when parents call about their children having stomach virus or aches, that helps as well. The apple cider vinegar is always our go-to. Do you drink it straight? No, never. Take apple cider vinegar straight. It must be diluted 3-to-1. So you place 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar into 3 tablespoons of water. Then you can drink it in the middle of your meal. You eat a couple of bites, you take your, I call it a shot, take your ACV shot and then finish your meal. And that is going to help break down the food for easier digestion. That takes the pain, that takes the pressure off the gallbladder, okay? Because we all know the gallbladder is the what? Trash can for the liver. So when I cringe when people tell me they don't have a gallbladder. Yes.
So what do you do if you have acid reflux and you can't take the apple cider?
If you can't take the apple cider vinegar, then I suggest the baking soda. And if you can't do the baking soda because it elevates your blood pressure, then I suggest George's distilled aloe vera water. Yes. And you can get that at the vitamin shop. So George, '(S), distilled aloe vera juice. People call it juice. I call it water because it tastes like water. That is the only brand we promote. Because if you have acid reflux, you don't want to go and get some off-brand aloe vera from another store, and then you cause more damage. The company distilled it for a reason, and it's to help heal the digestive tract the stomach lining, and the acid reflux. Everything that's in the esophagus that's been damaged by acid. It's important to drink the aloe vera water. Any questions about that? That has helped heal a lot of people. Even one cancer patient had sores in her mouth, and we had her to swish and swallow aloe vera every 3 hours, and it got rid of her mouth sores. Yes.
So how often should you drink the aloe vera water?
Every day.
I mean, like
Every
how many ounces?
half an ounce.
Half an ounce?
Half an ounce after each meal.
Or after?
Mm-hmm.
And there's no taste.
No taste.
There's no taste.
Yeah, a half an ounce with every meal. And at bedtime. Because what happens when we go to sleep?
I can personally tell you that I drank the aloe vera juice years ago, and it helped me.
Yep.
And I had acid reflux so bad that I couldn't breathe. The doctor said it was doing something with my diaphragm, that every time I would breathe, it would hurt. And I feel like I was just gonna fall out. And I drank the aloe vera juice every day. Not much, but I drank some 2 or 3 times a day,
Yes.
because really it was the only thing I could tolerate.
Right. And now you're healed.
I'm better. I mean, whenever I'm bad, if
Right.
if I decide that I want to eat something, normally I can get away with it once. But if I try to make it a lifestyle, then I have a problem. And I have to go to the medical doctor and take the pills,
Right.
okay? And I really don't want to do that. But really, I feel like I've been healed.
Good. Any questions? So I know they sell it at a vitamin shop, and what's the store where Payless used to be? On Parkway? Natural Apothecary? Or I think it says health food store, health food store. Health food is in big letters. They sell it as well. Questions? Okay. Okay. Always dilute with water. Oh. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that they diluted. It says 1 teaspoon and at least 4 ounces of water. Yes. Okay. Next. Always choose apple cider vinegar with the mother, the white foamy substance, which is a probiotic. Okay. It does not have to be Bragg's anymore. Remember? What was that, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? It has to be Bragg's, not anymore. The doctor I worked for, Dr. Gloria, used to do health presentations with Mrs. Bragg's. She has recently passed. Her children did not want the company, and they sold it. And the company they sold it to chooses not to use organic apples. And so we tell you, make sure you get organic apple cider vinegar, no matter what the brand is. Just make sure it has that organic label on it. Okay? That's important. Next. And you don't just have to take apple cider vinegar for health reasons. It's also good to clean your sinks and sanitize your tub and things like that. Now, the stomach acid baking soda test. And those who have high blood pressure, you will automatically know if it's elevating your blood pressure. Can you enlarge it so that some of our readers can see the steps?
I'm gonna see if I can make it bigger.
Yeah, that's fine. So in the old days, baking soda, you know, was a staple. And when people had indigestion, what did they do? They took baking soda. Baking soda will always be around. And even I had to take baking soda when I was a little girl, probably not even 5 years old. My stomach always hurt. And so my mom would always give me baking soda. and not knowing that when I ate meat, my stomach would hurt. And then that's when we later found out that I was allergic to meat. I was about 10 years old. And I had my appendix burst and I almost died. And so the ER doctors yelled at my mom because she didn't get me to the ER quick enough. And of course, they said nothing to her when it was time to be discharged, said nothing to her about my diet. And so we learned that I'm allergic to beef, chicken, and turkey, any type of animal as such. And so baking soda, I swear by baking soda because I know it works. And it's alkaline. Even a lot of veterinarians will tell you to use baking soda for horses and goats and things like that. So, yes.
I'm making it bigger, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. So the first thing you want to do is place a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda in 4 to 6 ounces of cold water first thing in the morning before eating or drinking anything. Drink the baking soda solution. Time how long it takes for you to burp or belch. That's the baking soda test, okay? Go up to 5 minutes. If you have not burped or belched within 5 minutes, then it would be a sign of insufficient stomach acid production. Okay, so that's how you're able to test at home. Does that make sense?
How much, tell us again the amount.
Not 1 teaspoon, a 1/4 teaspoon. Place a 1/4 teaspoon in a 1/2 cup of water and give yourself up to 5 minutes. You should be able to burp. I'd rather you do that than do a can of Pepsi. We know what that does. So that's important. Yes. You should burp.
Okay.
If you don't burp within 5 minutes or up to 5 minutes, then you don't have enough acid production. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said that we should do this first thing in the morning. What about drinking the lemon water first thing in the morning?
Yes, you can do the lemon water if you don't have acid reflux, but that's not a burping test. Lemon water is not a burping test. Just the baking soda is a burping test to see if you have enough acid production, okay? Because so many people are walking around with acid reflux and they don't understand that the medications that doctors give you does not heal you. It doesn't fix the problem. It may give you temporary relief, but it does not heal. Every single person who has come to me has said that. And it's the food. We have to learn how to become alkaline, okay? So if you're eating sugar, if you're eating meat or eating whatever you like, that's fine. But if you know you have acid reflux, use common sense to back away, refrain from eating those things, and drink alkaline smoothies or eat a salad or eat celery or eat cucumbers. Fix the problem because the pill is not going to fix it. You want to become alkaline. In the old days, they grabbed the baking soda, okay? So we want to make sure that you understand digestion starts in the mouth. And that's how we can avoid this acid reflux issue by being conscious of what's on our plate and what we put in our mouth. Okay? So if you were to, let's say you wake up in the morning and you have indigestion. It's not good to have it first thing in the morning, for one, because that tells me you didn't digest your food the day before, okay? And, oh, good, it's a good idea. Thank you, thank you. And so it's a good idea to make sure that you do the baking soda test so that you can make sure you have enough acid production in your system so that you're not further damaging the esophagus, which generally happens. Just last week, I had a person call. They were vomiting and could not stop. And I said, what do you think the problem is? Well, I know it's my acid reflux, but if you start vomiting, it's out of control. It's out of control at that point. We don't want it to get to that point, okay? So it starts with our foods, and it doesn't mean that you have to eat like a rabbit forever, right? You know, that's what they called me growing up. I was the rabbit girl because I couldn't eat meat. So, of course, you know, in the 60s, you had to eat everything on your plate. And I always got sick because I had a Polish, you know, or I had some ribs and stuff that I didn't like and had to eat it anyway. And so I became rabbit girl. And one of the things that people tell me is, I don't like rabbit food. I don't like salads, and that's fine. But find something that's alkaline that's going to fix your problem, okay? There are some nuts that are alkaline too. Can anybody guess which they are? There's two. Peanuts are the worst nut you can eat. Right, and peanuts is in the bean family, the legume family, yes. Peanuts accelerate inflammation. So I know people that just eat it, you know, handfuls of peanuts. Yeah, very high acidic nut. You want to stay away from those nuts. But almonds is an alkaline nut. And what's the second one? Brazil nuts. Brazil nut, yes. Yeah. Yeah, but it only takes 2 Brazil nuts, and that gives you enough selenium for your thyroid, yes. And so it might be expensive, but you don't need that many. You only need 2. 2 a day. It is not a nut that you're going to eat handfuls of, right? Like the peanut. You know why? Because Brazil nuts are so high in fat. Thank God he only allows us to have 2 because they're very high in fat. And so people are not conscious about that. They're like, oh, it's healthy, it's a nut. And I could just eat it and eat the whole bag. No, you can't. Be cautious of that, and especially those who don't have a gallbladder. You do not want to eat a handful of nuts. Okay? Okay. She said too late. Question?
I just want to say that the selenium with the Brazil nuts are very good too. And the other thing I wanted to ask, what you were saying, that the selenium Brazil nuts is also good for the thyroid. I want to know why is it so many doctors now are telling people they're giving them thyroid, they're giving them medication for thyroid, and they say it's for the heart. I'm confused.
Mm-hmm. That's because the thyroid is the master command center for the whole body. And it is. The doctor's right.
So he's good, he's okay when he gives you medicine for thyroid, that it also helps the heart?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Any other questions about acid reflux?
Dana, be sure to tell them the best brand of soda, not the yellow box.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. That's right, because we grew up on Arm & Hammer. And I don't want you to just go out and throw it away. Arm & Hammer is, you can still clean your tub and your sinks and all of that. So don't throw it away. I use it on the farm. But because of the mining process, we want to make sure that it's a clean baking soda now, not synthetic. and it is the Bob Red Meal brand that you can find at Sprouts, Whole Foods, Publix, and Target. Kroger has it too. Okay. So look for that name, that brand name, Bob Red Meal. If you're going to be doing the baking soda test, or if you want to make sure that you're alkaline and you're taking at night, please use that brand. Bob Red Meal is the brand name for that baking soda. So just remember that rule.
Okay,
Yes.
with the acid reflux, she was talking about drinking the lemon water in the morning. You don't want to do lemon water, and you don't want to do any of the juices that are high
And the
in
acid.
acid.
Yeah, no lemon juice, no lime juice, no oranges, no grapefruits, nothing citrus. And the reason why she brought that up, with holistic, with our practice, if you don't have acid reflux, we do drink lemon water in the mornings. It's a whole host of reasons of why we do it and what it's good for. But when you have acid reflux, you're not allowed to drink it.
Could you give that name of that baking soda again, please?
Sure. Bob, B-O-B, Red, R-E-D, Meal, M-I-L-L. Yes.
I almost forgot all that.
Sorry, it'll come back. She forgot.
I guess it wasn't that important.
I come back.
Let me reiterate that if you don't have a gallbladder, it's important that you are taking some type of enzyme with your meat and protein, or carbs and fat, carbs and sugars. And it's also important that you take apple cider vinegar if you don't have a gallbladder, because that's really going to take the pressure off your liver, the liver health. And so that's important that you know that, and just limit your meat consumption. The kidneys can only handle 25 grams of protein at one time in one serving. So we shouldn't overdo it anyway, but just remember that that gallbladder was the trash can for the liver. And so when you don't have it anymore, the liver has no help. So the least you can do is have better digestion. Okay? What?
I just thought
Hold
when
it.
you went back over that. Excuse me. You was talking about the foods we shouldn't eat, and I wanted to know from you that when you eat, you know, I'm not actually reflex, but when you eat grapefruits, they also say it's good for your blood pressure. So, you saying can we eat it or we cannot eat it?
Well, if you're taking blood pressure medicine, you should not be eating grapefruits. They don't mix. That should be an interaction disclaimer on your medication.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so don't do that.
So if you're not taking the blood pressure, you can eat the,
Yes, you can eat grapefruits if you don't have acid reflux.
okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
Any other questions? If you aren't eating healthy food free of toxic additives, and you do not have a good ratio of health-enhancing bacteria versus health-depleting bacteria in your colon, you can never achieve wellness. Everything else is symptom care, not health care. Next slide.
That's the last one I have. That's 12 and 12.
Oh, okay, thank you. The other thing I want to mention is probiotics. That's a whole nother class, but that helps digestion as well. The problem is you need to make sure that you're looking closely at the strains of the probiotic, not so much the billion. Billion is not important, it's the strains. Whatever probiotic you choose over the counter, make sure the strains are at least 50 strains. That makes you have a good, healthy probiotic, okay? I'm not concerned about it saying 50 billion. I want to know how many strains it is. And you'll find that a lot of over-the-counter probiotics are so watered down that they do not have enough strains in them to begin to be effective. So yes.
Should you take the probiotic before, after, or during?
Good question. You should always take your probiotics at bedtime on an empty stomach. That's the time you take it, because you want the probiotic to cancel out the bad bacteria. So the best way to do that is when you're asleep. Mm-hmm. So if you're disciplined about not snacking after 7 p.m., then it's okay. I knew I would strike a nerve. Which also helps with good digestion if we're not snacking after 7 p.m. Making sure that we have our dinner around 5 and our dessert before 7. That gives us good digestion before we go to bed. And so the probiotic will be good. It has no interference with cupcakes and donuts at night. And so it would be good to take the probiotic on an empty stomach when you're laying down so that it can do its job, okay, with no interference.
Okay. Do you have any recommendation of any type of probiotic?
As long as the probiotic has 50 strains, yeah.
What about the ones like you have to be refrigerated as opposed?
Nope. We don't do that anymore.
Go ahead and repeat her question. You know what she said.
Melanie. She was just trying to say which probiotic. And so from this position, we would be another hour because everybody's body is different. The main rule you need to understand is that when you go to the store and find a probiotic, look for the strains, strains, strains of your probiotic is the most quality key ingredient. It must be at least 50 when you're looking for a good quality probiotic. Don't look at price, okay? Look at the strains if you want it to work and be effective. Yes.
For someone who has acid reflux
Mm-hmm.
and they drink water or take medicine like before they go to bed,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of like irritates. That kind of like irritates, like bringing the reflux, I guess.
Are you referring to taking reflux medication?
No, just like you said, you can take the probiotics before bed.
Oh,
Should a person who has acid reflux take it and then a few hours before bed, or wait until like they're really getting ready to go to bed?
so what's best for a person with acid reflux is taking it with aloe vera, the George's aloe vera,
Okay.
because that really coats the throat, the esophagus, the stomach lining, everything. Yeah, it's best to take it with that. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Do you recommend individuals taking digestive enzymes?
Yes, so we talked about that before you walked in. His name just went over my head. That's not Brandon. Leviticus. Can you go back to the digestive enzymes slide? So that's a good question, Sister Kendra. We were talking about digestive enzymes because the older we get, we do lose that ability to be able to break down our foods. And so for people who are eating meat and fats and proteins, it's very important to take an enzyme in the middle of their meal. So eat a few bites, take the enzyme, and then finish the meal. So you want to sandwich it in. That's so important. And then also the apple cider vinegar. 1 tablespoon placed in 4 ounces of water or 3 ounces of water is a good enzyme to do. Let's just say the person can't take pills or they don't want to pay the money for enzymes, then apple cider vinegar is a good enzyme for them to do with every meal, okay? And let me say this. There it is. For you to be eating all this good food and then you not, thank you for coming, Dr. Teresa. It's a waste of time to be eating, good food and it's not doing anything for you. Jada Pinkett, when I had my liver cancer and I was just in a fog, like, oh Lord, not again, another bout with cancer. I read her book. She said that her grandmother taught her that we should not have this personal relationship with food, where this makes us so happy because it's going to let you down. Food, she told her grandmother told her, food is just a survivor thing. You eat it, you're supposed to get your nutrients from it and move on, right? It's not supposed to be this, I'm so in love with food, because we'll get very disappointed. And so eating and the food being converted into energy, that's the purpose. Eating and eating and eating, seconds and thirds, because it just tastes so good. And then it does what? Causes damage, yes.
Cause us to get fat.
Or we get fat, yeah. Thank you, Sister Kendra. That was a good question. So yes, apple cider vinegar has always been a good enzyme, but I have found that with some people's acid reflux that's so out of control, and they're vomiting and can't get relief, sometimes apple cider vinegar won't even help. So we just don't want to get to that point. Yeah. Any more questions? Well, if you have questions, please write them down, and then you can give them to Sister Freeman, and then she can just text me or email me. I don't want anybody to leave without knowing the answer to your question. So thank you for coming. Give yourselves a hand. Yes. Also, if there was anyone here last week and you brought your saliva test, please raise your hand. Okay. Did they get urine books?
I ran out.
You ran out?
I need
4
4.
more. Okay. So raise your hand. Who brought their test? 1, 2, 3. I have some in the car. Okay.
Dana, next week's lecture will be on what?
Diabetes.
For those of you who came in after I made the announcement, the 4th and final one, which Dana said is going to cover high blood pressure, we're asking that you let me know or let Felix know if you're going to be here. And that's because Dana is going to prepare food. So she wants to prepare enough, and she doesn't want to overdo and have waste. So if you plan to come to the 4th and final, next week you just come. Don't worry about it. But for the 4th one, which is the 1st of May, please let us know, okay?
Yep.
But now if you come and if you want to come and you haven't told Felix or I, come on, okay? I don't want that to stand in the way of your coming, that you say, oh, I didn't let anybody know.
Right.
No, come on,
Right.
All right? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I would like to prepare a food that does not add inflammation to your body. And those who can attest, it tastes good, right? Raise your hand if you've had my food. Still tastes good. My goal is to just cook it like our ancestors. You know, when we were growing up, their food tastes good, right? And it was what? Homemade. Few ingredients as possible. And I'm cooking with foods that you can pronounce. Have a good day. Thank you for coming.
Father God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for what we've heard and what we've learned, dear God. Help us to apply what we've learned to our lives. And we ask, dear God, that you just be with us, keep us in your loving care. We ask you continue to bless our presenter, dear God, and continue to give her wisdom and knowledge, dear God, as she share with us. And help us to eat healthy, dear God. Father, we thank you for your love, mercy, and grace. Be with us until we meet again. For in Jesus' name we pray, amen.